Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today I invite you to come with me on my 3-day slow spring living reset, where I enjoy a simple life at home. As I begin by taking off all the winter bedding, all the winter sheets, stripping down and taking away all the rest of the winter decor so we can get ready for spring. This season is the perfect time for introspection, for letting go of old energy and aligning yourself with a sense of calm, a sense of balance. To slow down and focus on regulating your nervous system as you do deep healing work on your mind, your body, your heart, and your soul. And so I invite you to come along with me on my slow daily living rituals, where I incorporate mindfulness, slow meals and cooking, and we embrace slow living as we nurture our body and do the deep introspective healing work. As we create a peaceful environment that supports your healing journey. And even in the midst of the mountain of work, we savor each moment as it comes. We give ourselves space and time, and we trust in the process of life. Every year in March, I take about 2 weeks to focus on clearing out the old and making way for the new. Since I live in Canada and we get mountains of snow over the winter, I like to leave most of my winter decor up through the end of February. But once March arrives, it's time to take all that down, to switch everything over, and then give the house an extremely deep clean. I still go about my regular routine, getting up, getting my morning tea, where I like to mix bone broth and collagen, vanilla flavored, as my morning drink of choice, getting lunch ready for the kids, getting their breakfast ready. I continue to do everything that I normally do, but rather than take an extra pile of work and add it to my already busy plate, I like to take everything else off my plate, knowing that this changeover takes time. And so I pare down on the videos that I make. I pare down on working on my program. I clear my plate of coaching clients, and I clear my to-do list of any unnecessary tasks that I normally would do. Starting with my morning supplements and my morning vitamins. I always take this time to simply set my intention for the day. Set my mindful intention that I'm going to focus on the present moment. Maybe it's to feel lighter or more grounded, or create a space or time for new growth. Give yourself an intention while you're taking your morning supplements or having your morning tea or coffee. Taking just a moment to set your intention before carrying on with the morning, getting into the swing of the day, and getting caught up with kids and cooking and dishes and all the tasks that will need to be done. Each morning, I start with a simple reset where I unload my dishwasher, I put all my dishes away, I make my kids breakfast and lunch and get them ready for school. So during this period of the next week or two, I only prioritize what's essential. I let go of any extra, unnecessary jobs that just feel like I should be doing them or that make extra busy work. And I focus on only the essentials, the things that will truly improve my life, focusing on my family, the simple daily reset that makes my house feel neat and tidy. And I remind myself that the process of the winter to spring changeover doesn't have to feel overwhelming or like another task to check off your list. Instead, it can be mindful, it can be joyful, it can be an introspective, grounding process that helps you slow down, that helps you let go of the old, that helps you create space for new energy to flow in. So approaching it with ease, turning it into a special time rather than something that adds stress to your plate is something that I always try to remind myself to do. So for me, my daily routine always stays the same. I always make my bed. I always unload my dishwasher. I always try to create a peaceful morning for the kids getting ready for school, as I make them breakfast and lunch and focus on just a general home reset so that I feel good about starting the day off right. I try to remember to slow the pace of any tasks that I'm doing, of unloading the dishwasher, of doing the laundry, and of cleaning. I try to create a relaxed atmosphere in my mind so that I can stay grounded in the present moment. I try to turn cleaning into a more meditative process. For anyone with kids, you know that this can be difficult, particularly teenagers who tend to be reflexive and chaotic, and it seems that they need a lot of coaching in order to get ready for school so that they are on time and everything gets done. And so it can be difficult to slow down in the mornings, to not rush with the chaos of kids when they argue with each other or sleep in late or stress to get ready. I try to bring mindfulness into the morning chaos of getting the kids ready for school. Some mornings it's a challenge, but most often I try to look at it as an opportunity to infuse my slow living practices, to infuse mindfulness and meditative practices, and staying grounded and calm in the present moment. So I try to keep the energy gentle, using a simple mantra. Today, I will stay calm and centered. Today, I will create a peaceful morning for my family. Some mornings, I drive my kids to school. This morning is one of those moments. I use this time to build in moments of connection with them, finding simple moments where we can talk and laugh and just talk about the day ahead, find out what's on their agenda, find out what's going on with them for their day. I embrace flexibility in my morning routine with my kids and just enjoy the time I have with them. After I drop them off from school, I spend the time in the car coming home as a transition time where I listen to one of my favorite podcasts and give myself this gentle moment of transition before stepping in the door, taking a deep breath, taking a few moments to myself to gather up my thoughts, to get into the present moment, to breathe in the fresh air, and to begin to feel centered before I start my transition to my work. And I remind myself of my intention for the day. I start by surveying my area, all the things I need to strip down, still put away, making sure all of the winter decor has been taken down and that there's nothing left so we can start spring fresh we can start spring new. So I always start by surveying the tasks that I have to do, and then I begin one step at a time. Noticing any winter things that need to be taken down, grabbing them. I'm going to be starting with pillows and blankets today so that we can start with a new, fresh canvas for spring. Before I continue with the tasks of the day, I'm going to stop and just check my email to make sure there's nothing super urgent, nothing that I need to attend to. Get back to anyone who desperately needs it, and then I can put away my email for the day. Saying good morning to my dog, taking a sip of my tea, just checking in and taking a few moments to scroll, zone out, and do anything I enjoy. Giving myself a time limit of 10 minutes. Just this 10 minutes can be a lovely time to take time for yourself. Starting by switching over the laundry. Laundry is one of the main focuses I do in the first few days of my winter to spring switchover. I change all the bedding, all the sheets, all the blankets in the house from our winter bedding and our winter pillows, and then getting out some new, fresh spring ones. This always takes a significant amount of time because I'm switching over 5 bedrooms and all the couches and all the pillows. Washing everything can take a few days, actually, and rather than feel stressed out by that, I allow myself to enjoy it. I'm lucky to have 2 laundry stations in my home, one on the main floor and one downstairs. So I can have 2 loads going at once, which really helps out. So I love to take this time when I'm doing laundry to really go inward, to think about all my healing practices, to think about the basics, to remind myself to get back to basics with my diet, with my sleep, with my movement practices, to making sure that I'm nourishing my body with all the foundations of health and healing. I love to reflect on this, especially every quarter. I find 4 times of year when I'm doing these house changeovers, I really love to reflect on my healing practices, especially the basics. Am I doing everything I need to do to stay grounded, to keep my health and healing on track? This is a real good time for introspection and evaluation. Is there something I'd like to change about one of these foundations? Do I need to change my diet with the seasons? Do I need to change my exercise routine with the seasons? Should I be changing my bedtime? Should I be changing my routine? Should I be changing my relationships and who I spend my time with and what I spend my time on? It's also a really great reflective time to look deeper. Is it time for an advanced healing protocol? Perhaps a detox protocol or a parasite protocol? Is there anything that I'd like to do in this next season to really go deeper with health and healing? Is there anything emotional and mental blocks or any kind of emotional triggers that continue to come up? Is there something that I recognize that still needs to be healed? This is where I can really go introspectively and decide I would like to work on this. This trigger or this emotion keeps coming up for me. And over the next season, I'd really like to focus on it. I'd love to go deeper. So after I eat my breakfast, I begin again with the bedding, putting on some new spring sheets and just thinking about these things. thinking about where I want to spend my energy over the next 3 months, over the next quarter, over the spring before we head into summer. What do I want to focus my time on? Do I have a new hobby or something new and creative? A project that I really want to focus on or get done? Do I want to connect or begin new relationships in my life? Who do I want to focus my energy on? What types of things do I want to focus on for my mind and my soul over the next few months before summer begins? Spring is such a beautiful time, and the next 3 weeks are a real transition period as we go from the winter season and into the spring season. I start to think about what kinds of things I want to declutter and get rid of in the house for those summer garage sales. What can I declutter and what can I simplify? Starting to declutter in my mind, starting to think about those things that I might be ready to let go of, items that I no longer align with. I also start to reevaluate all of my mindfulness routines, all of my daily routines. How am I doing on my morning routines, on my evening routines, and on my daily routines? I evaluate how I'm doing, how I feel, mind, body, heart, and soul. I evaluate how I'm doing with my current diet, how I'm doing with grocery shopping and cooking and meal prepping, and am I aligned with the foods that I'm eating? Is it ready to make a change? Is it ready to add in or incorporate or try new foods? Or am I ready to simplify, be more focused, be more strict on a certain diet or certain protocol? I'd like to take time to reflect on how I'm doing with my breath work and how I'm doing with my grounding practices. Am I incorporating my breathing into my day? And I stop and I remember and I breathe as I'm doing my housework. I try to ground to the earth or do grounding rituals indoors that make me feel connected to the earth, to nature. I ask myself if I'm getting outside enough. I ask myself if I'm stopping during the day enough to really get into a grounding and a breathwork practice. I reevaluate my restorative movement and my movement practices. How am I doing in my yoga practice or my stretching? How am I doing with my mindful walking? How am I doing with more intensive exercises? What new movement practices do I want to build into my life? What do I want to extend or continue to get better at in my life? In what areas have I fallen short? Or I want to really restart something up or begin something completely new. Maybe I feel up to or ready for a new challenge in one of these areas. My bed is starting to look fresh and new and more like spring. And so I just take a moment to enjoy the simple process of making my bed, of feeling good to see the bed switched over, allowing myself the peace of just being in this moment, accomplishing small things, letting it make me feel good about myself, letting it make me smile before moving on to the next task. Taking a moment on thinking about what to do next and stopping to be here right now and to make myself a soothing, warm drink that I can stop and enjoy and just focus on the present moment. I'll be the first one to admit that my nervous system was so dysregulated for so many years. It was so highly activated. I was such a perfectionist, and I still am. I needed to move and think quickly. I didn't like the idea of wasting time, wasting any moments. And so even as I went through my healing journey, even as I got into slow living, I was still coming at it from a sense of trying to be perfect, trying to perfect the slow living way of life, trying to get my house to look like all of the magazines, to feel peaceful, to incorporate the right colors and the flowers and all of that stuff that you see in slow living videos and in minimalistic living. The tendency for highly activated people who are perfectionists and move quickly in life, when they start a slow living journey or they try to regulate their nervous system by slowing down, they often just move these ways of being into this new lifestyle. And so the pressure is still there. The pressure doesn't go away to get it right. And especially for people on a healing journey, I know I tried to see how many healing protocols, how many healing modalities I could squeeze into a day, how I could make use of every single moment for healing. And that was so much pressure. And so one of the biggest lessons that I've learned on a healing journey, on a journey from being overactive to regulating my nervous system, was shifting my perfectionism to progress, to embracing good enough. Trying to go from the mentality and the mindset in my life from everything must be perfect, everything must be flawless, to I'm moving forward and that's enough. I'm doing my best and that's enough. And even if I don't get this bed made, and even if it's not perfect, and even if it takes me longer, and even if it's more effort, and even if it's not as good in the end that I wanted it to be, or it doesn't feel as perfect, or I'm not going as slow, or I'm not doing all the healing practices that I need to do along the way, that's okay. Embracing self-love, embracing self-compassion, embracing self-acceptance is how you actually make the healing changes in your life that need to be made. It's not by embracing a full new lifestyle or by slowing your pace, but it's by being compassionate to yourself and loving to yourself and accepting to yourself in all the ways that make you feel like you are good enough. Like it is good enough. Like everything that you're doing is okay and good enough, because that's what actually makes you feel safe. That's what actually creates a nervous system that feels safe. And so, although slow living and simple living seems to focus on one task at a time, seems to help those of us who are perfectionists and multitaskers and people who believe in efficiency and getting everything done and getting it right and getting it perfect, even though focusing on one thing at a time and slowing down helps to reduce the feeling of being overwhelmed and creates this sense of accomplishment as you complete each task, it actually becomes less about slowing down and moving slower, but more about loving yourself, more about accepting yourself, more about accepting your limits and recognizing that you're human and that you can't do everything and that that's okay. And to allow yourself to rest or miss a task or leave things unfinished, especially when it feels overwhelming and when you feel like you couldn't possibly stop, because look at the mountain of things to do. This is when you stop. You sit down and you stretch. You stretch out your muscles. You let it go. And you realize that everything's okay, just as it is. That there's nothing, in fact, that you need to do. And so you sit and you focus and you stretch and you breathe and you ground into the moment with self-love and self-acceptance, and you honor yourself. You honor your own pace. You honor what your body's telling you. You listen and you attend to its needs without pushing through or needing to get more done or needing to be perfect. This is about loving yourself, listening to your body, honoring your own limitations and your own pace, and finding contentment in the simplicity of life. Remembering to stop and just be here now. To stretch in a way that feels good. To breathe in a way that feels good. To move in a way that feels good. Regulating your nervous system with yawns. Forcing a big yawn and a big stretch. Helps an overstimulated nervous system come back into deep balance. Taking breaks and honoring what your body needs, what your soul needs, what your emotions need. Really allowing your nervous system to feel safe in each moment. Whether you're stretching, whether you're sitting in meditation, knowing when it's time to just walk in nature, to take time to observe and look at the ground and notice the texture of the sky and the world around you. To just stop and take a moment to reconnect to yourself. I love to come sit on this bench that we put at the water's edge in honor of my mom, who passed away almost 14 years ago. Just sitting on this bench, walking, offers a chance to replenish my energy and nurture my soul. So I try to remember to fill myself up before moving on to the next task. When I'm ready, when my walk is over, when I've taken enough time for myself, I come back to the jobs and the things that I'm doing with a renewed spirit. Tonight, we are taking our kids out for dinner to reward my daughter for the hard work that she's put in on something this week that we don't want to go unnoticed. She chose a sushi restaurant, and although I don't eat a lot of the food that they serve at these restaurants, I don't like to deny anyone in my family the opportunity to go out and to celebrate together. Because spending time as a family, so even if it won't align with my diet, spending time as a family, I put at the top of my priority list. And so every time we go out to eat, I make myself a nourishing soup in a thermos. Today, I happen to have some butternut squash on hand and some homemade beef stock with a lot of gelatin from cooking a roast the day before. So I'm going to blend this all up in my Vitamix and warm it on the stove. Then I'm going to put it in my thermos, and this will be what I bring to the restaurant with me in case I can't find something that suits me on the menu. I always do this when we're going out to eat, because nobody will ever tell you that you can't bring in your own drink or thermos. It's easy to bring in, set on the table, and nobody knows that it's a full meal that I can eat without having to worry about the menu. And so while that's cooking on the stove, I'm just going to get ready to go out. I don't fuss a lot about my looks, so I do a quick routine to get ready so that I can look presentable to go out for dinner. I'm just going to be curling just the front of my hair so I can wave it in and give it a little more body. This takes only a few minutes and goes a long way. Getting ready for me is pared down to a simple routine that just helps me feel refreshed and put together without spending too much time or using unhealthy products on my body. The first thing I do is like to just touch up my hair. I love this blow drying and air curling kit that I got. It's great for putting curl in your hair or drying it or just adding a little bit of extra body. The air curls are quick and easy to work with and less damaging on my hair. After just fixing up the front of my hair, I like to apply a minimalist approach to freshening up my face. Just some light cream or light hydration on my skin. I use natural creams that I buy in vetted health food stores that I really like, or I use my own homemade products, beef tallow coconut oil on my skin, just to brighten up and give them a hydrated, dewy look. Today, I'm using a rose oil, which is a really light, a fresh smelling oil that makes my skin look and feel great. Next, I just touch up my eyebrows with a quick brow gel to give them a natural look. I find that this little added step just makes me feel good and polished. The next thing I like to do is add a little bit of foundation on parts of my skin that I used to have acne as a teenager. I have some scarring around the mouth and chin from years and years of acne that I used to have. And so covering up those scars makes me feel a little bit better, and then adding a natural lip tint. I don't really ever wear eye makeup, but I love to curl my eyelashes to make my lashes stand out without any product on them. And that's it. After I freshen up, it's time to get changed into something a little nicer. Just a simple pair of jeans, a nice tank top, and a nice cardigan sweater. This will be perfect for going out to the restaurant tonight. This simple routine can be done in 10 minutes as my dinner is heating up on the stove. It's minimal effort, minimal products, and just keeps me feeling fresh and clean. It's almost time for my husband to be home from work and for us to go out to dinner. So getting my soup prepared and into the thermos really eases my mind when I go out to dinner with my family, knowing that I can stay on track with the diet of my choice. I have a few minutes before we're set to leave, and I feel up to getting a little more done. There's so much more that needs to be turned over and done, but knowing when to call it a day, being gentle and easy on myself for not getting every single thing I wanted to do accomplished today, that is part of how you regulate your nervous system. It's part of knowing when enough is enough, knowing when it's time to work and when it's time to rest, listening to your body, making sure that you have balance in your life. And so while I'm just going to fix up a few more things, work on some of these pillows, knowing that there is another full day ahead of me of changing winter over to spring, I try to be gentle with myself and remind myself that it's a lengthy process, that everything doesn't happen at once, that it may take several days to switch over all the sheets and the pillows and the blanket and the laundry and put the decor away just so that I can clean the house. And that may take a full week. And after a full week of deep cleaning, it may take another week to get out the boxes and decorate for spring. So all in all, this could be a few days over 3 weeks. A few days for what I'm doing now, a little break, a few days for deep cleaning the house, and then a little break, and then a few days for decorating for spring. This could be a 3-week project. And so my old self would try to cram the entire thing in to a couple of days and frazzle myself, working tirelessly, pushing myself endlessly to get it done in record time so I could feel good enough. The new me recognizes that going slow is okay. Being in the moment is better for my health and my nervous system. And taking time to really immerse myself in these moments, to learn to bring joy and presence into each moment is the point, is the goal of slow living. That there is actually no point in having a clean, tidy, organized home if I'm feeling overwhelmed, frazzled, and having my energy zapped. To remind myself and recognize that taking time to rest is just as important or more important as cleaning and organizing, so that I don't feel depleted. Taking breaks, having a nap, sitting down, relaxing, focusing on joy and connection is just as important as the simple tasks at hand, as switching over winter to spring, right? As organizing my home. The reason we clean our home and simplify and declutter and organize and clean and do healing protocols and eat a certain diet and journal and do all the healing things that we need to do. We do these so that we'll feel better, so that we'll live a more balanced life, a more organized life, a more fulfilling life, a life where we feel like we can then enjoy ourselves and feel connected to the present moment. This is why we do all of the things that we do. And so I like to focus about how I want my home to make me feel, why I'm doing all these things in the first place. It's because I want a peace and calm and comforting environment and home. And so it's important to focus on the feelings that I want to experience rather than just doing the jobs that will hopefully create the experience. Because when my home is clean and organized, it's easier for me to enjoy the small moments of presence in my life, to sit and savor my morning drink, to sit and feel good about myself. So accepting what didn't get done today, looking at the things that were still on my list that I didn't get done, is the choice I'm making to feel calm and grounded now, to prioritize rest and my family and fun and going out for dinner and spending the night just relaxing and allowing myself to appreciate and to really step into this peaceful flow of the evening, knowing that my environment and my tasks are meant to support my well-being and not drain it, and allowing myself the downtime I need before a restful sleep and a productive start to the new day ahead. I love to wake up without an alarm. I love to make my bed and have a shower and get organized to start my morning every day. This morning, I start with some simple coconut oil, tallow, and whipped honey cream that I made. This is just a perfect way to start the day after a nice, refreshing shower. Taking my supplements first thing in the morning allows me to drink a full glass of water without even thinking about it. I use a full glass of water to take all of these supplements, so it's a great way to hydrate myself first thing in the morning. Today, the kids are home on a snow day. They've had 27 snow days this winter so far. And while it's been great for them, it's left me little time to do the projects that I wanted to do over this winter season. But it's also been a special gift, having more time than I intended to have with them throughout this winter. So since they are home today, my morning routine looks a little bit different, and I don't need to make lunches or get breakfast ready quite so early. So with all my energy of the morning, I jump into the tasks that I most want to do. Getting away these winter decor decorations from my downstairs was one of the things on my list that I meant to do a few weeks ago, and I'm only getting around to it now. So it'd be great to see these winter decorations away, having a clean palette in which to start spring decorating soon. I took my upstairs winter decorations down a few weeks ago upstairs which was a huge job, but I still have the bedding, the downstairs, and the pillows to switch over, which we're doing over the next couple of days. I store all my winter decor in bins out in the garage, which is a really great system. My husband made shelving all the way around our upper floor in the garage so that I could store bins of decor items for all the various seasons. Our downstairs living suite was actually made for my father. And so my dad lives here part-time. He was intended to live here full-time. And this was the dream that I had when I envisioned building our dream home 5 years ago. We created this entire suite for him to live in as he was getting older, and as my mother had passed away many years before, we didn't want him on his own. But since he has a new girlfriend and spends the majority of the time living at her house about 45 minutes away from here, he only stops by or comes here a couple of nights a week. So I never anticipated having this much house to organize or clean. It was always intended for him to be living here full time. But such is life, things change, and things always work out differently than we thought they would. So I like to have this space kept fresh and clean and organized and always ready for him when he stops by to visit or stay the night. When we built our dream home and I manifested this dream home 5 years ago, prioritizing family was one of the things that was the most important to me. Creating spaces for connection, for love, and for meaningful moments, all while still balancing the needs of our daily life. So I really wanted to make conscious choices that put our family, put space for all of us to be together, and make choices for living that really ensure that my time and attention and energy are being spent on what matters most to me, and that is family. So I'm switching over the bedding for my dad so that he'll have spring sheets the next time he pops in or stays the night. This is his area, and I really like to make it feel comfortable and inviting for him. And even though he now spends the majority of his time with his partner in her home, I always want to have this place ready for him, because even though life is unpredictable, I try to be flexible and adapt to the fact that he isn't living here the way I imagined when I built this space for him. I still want to prioritize him as part of our family, and so we encourage him to come by having certain family rituals, special family dinners, or Sunday morning brunch that he can come to, and that this area is always inviting and clean and organized and ready if him and his partner should come and want to spend a few days here with us. So it's nice to see the winter bedding going away and some new fresh spring bedding coming out. Even though we don't use this space, my kids like to come downstairs, watch TV, sometimes come down here and eat breakfast. We often use the patio space in the summer, and if we have guests, we'll use it for entertaining. But other than that, we keep it in order, neat and clean and organized and ready, so that it always feels like my dad's space when he comes to visit. Ever since losing my mom, my best friend, it's been really important to me to carry on some family traditions, to make beautiful family memories, and to really keep our family connected and close. It's one of the things that matters most to me, and why I put so much time and effort into homemaking, into creating a nurturing environment. It's the idea that it will help strengthen our relationships and be the canvas in which we can make wonderful, lasting family memories. My mom was so good at making the home feel like such a beautiful and special place when I was little. And even though she made it feel effortless, and I now realize how much work it is, the one thing that she really taught me was that it's about the little moments of togetherness. It's about the little touches, the decorating for each season, the care that you put into your home, and the presence that you bring to it that makes the biggest impact. And so that's what I try to remember when I feel overworked or overwhelmed by housework that never seems to end. I try to remember what I'm doing it for and who I'm doing it for and what the home actually means, what it represents, and how just having this nice, organized, clean home helps to create this sense of family, balance and fulfillment and love and togetherness for everyone. So these snow days are a little more relaxed when I don't have to get ready first thing and I can get ready a little more slowly. I love to have natural lighting in my home, and that's why it's filled with so many windows. I generally turn all the lights off unless I'm getting ready in the bathroom, but most of the lighting is from natural sunlight in my home, the natural daylight. And in the evening, I use gentle, soft, dimmable lights in every single room. That was one of my non-negotiables when I built this house, is that every light switch has a dimmable switch. Every single light can be dimmed in this home, and I only keep them on low and dimmed every single night in the rooms that I'm using. But all of the windows allows daylight to flood into our main rooms without the use of any unnatural lights. So today my plan is to put up some of the new springy pillows, the pillows that aren't the cozy, fluffy ones, but that are more bright and neutral for spring. Switching over the throw pillows and throw blankets and bedding is a tedious job, but it is one of my favorites and most rewarding. It's one of those things that says spring is here. When I remove the pillows and the throw blankets and get out the new seasonal throw blankets and pillows, it just completely changes the mood and the vibe in the entire home. For some reason, putting out spring cushions and pillows always makes me want to simplify and declutter more. It always gives me an urge to declutter and organize the home. But that is not on the list for the next few days. It's just merely switching over the canvas so that I have a new canvas in which to work with for the spring. Next up will be a full spring clean, and I'll reserve another video to show you just that. After that can come some decluttering projects as we really make our way from spring towards summer. Once the spring pillows and throw blankets come out, I always have the urge to decorate. But decorating has to wait until a full deep clean has taken place. Christmas decorations and winter decorations are very messy. They collect a lot of dust and sparkles with the fake snow and different sparkly items. And with a more blank canvas, it's easier to clean. So a full clean will come next. A deep clean of the bathrooms and showers, a deep clean of the floors and the baseboards, a deep clean of all the shelves so that everything has no dust and everything feels new and fresh and squeaky clean. I really like to get that done before I bring out spring decor. And here in Canada, it takes a couple of cleans in order to really clean up from the winter. So the first one is the decor and the canvas of the bedding and the couches. The second one is doing an extreme deep clean of the home to get everything feeling fresh and new again. And then I decorate with some spring decorations. And I also do the winter coats and the winter boots and the winter mudroom. And all of that needs to be cleaned closer to the end of May, after the rainy season has stopped, before summer. I'm going to keep a few cozy blankets out here in the corner because it's still snowy outside and we still really love to snuggle up and enjoy cozy blankets in the evening. But other than that, all of the winter decor will be put away. I'm bringing out some summer, painting some summer and spring photos. This one always gives me a bit of a challenge. My husband is working from home today on a snow day, and so he's here thankfully to help me put this up. Otherwise, I would need to wait until he got home. But most of the things I find I can do myself. A few things I wait for his help with in the evenings. And he doesn't often work from home anymore the way he did during the COVID era, but he certainly works from home during this extreme winter season when we've had so many snow days and icy road conditions. So although I'm not putting up spring decor quite yet, I don't like to leave empty vases. So just putting a few things out, just very few minor things, so that we don't just see a lot of empty vases, which really just feels not great to me. I like things to feel complete. So just a few things I'll set up on my shelf so that the vibe doesn't feel depressing. It feels full. This in-between phase of seasons usually lasts about a month, where it may not be appropriate to put out all the spring things yet, but it's nice to see a few things so that the house doesn't feel empty or blank or void until the next season comes along. So although everything doesn't come out for another month, adding a little bit of greenery and just keeping things looking neat and nice and simple can still be a blank enough canvas that it is easy to clean, but that it also helps to keep me feel nurtured and homey at the same time. Making sure that even though all the spring decor isn't out yet, that the choices are still bringing me peace and simple and creating a space that makes me feel good and feels beautiful to be in. And as I go about my day, I always find time to meditate. I don't have a special or particular time, just when my body tells me that I'm starting to get a little overactive or I need some downtime. I try to tune in sometime in the afternoon to see when I need this to be. Meditation practice helps me find peace and clarity and keep balance in my life. It is the most amazing tool for slowing down and calming the nervous system. Sometimes I do one meditation session, which would be an hour long, and sometimes I do a few 20-minute sessions throughout the day. But just taking that time to stop and meditate between tasks really brings you back into your body, really helps with stress reduction, really helps with better emotional regulation. And it brings improved focus and clarity and energy back to my day. So it helps me move from one task to another without feeling drained. It keeps my energy high because I've stopped and taken time to give to myself, to check in with my own needs, to connect deeply with my own thoughts, and my emotions and my body. To stop and give myself time to reflect and give myself care and give myself love, rather than just going from task to task, pushing through and ending up feeling drained, not appreciated, not loved, and like all of it has no meaning. That's what can happen when you go from one task to the next. But when you take time to stop, to look inward, your immune system gets stronger. Your nervous system gets more regulated. You feel more connected to yourself and to the day. And it's much easier to come back to housekeeping, to come back to wiping down surfaces or changing the decor or making your bed or doing the dishes or doing the laundry or vacuuming or dusting. It can be much easier to come back to these tasks once you've taken time for yourself. It not only helps to break it up and not feel like you're doing everything in one go, but it helps to fill you up so that you have more to give to your family. I also like to stop for many self-care breaks and just doing things that I like. And so I try to give myself this meaningless time where I can just zone out and scroll or do whatever I want several times a day. But I also give myself limits so that I don't get caught up in doing more of it and having it drain me and having it steal from me. Just prepping dinner, I'm going to be doing a few different things because different people in our house eat different foods and are on different diets. And so I like to prepare a variety of whole foods that can work for everyone, and people can simply take and choose that works for them, that works for their nutritional preferences and the diet that they happen to be on at the time. Specifically my husband and myself, and I know my children like more variety than I include. So having a different assortment of whole foods from vegetables, fruits, animal products, and meat really form the basis of what everyone eats in this home. As I'm cooking dinner, the laundry never ends, and so I like to get folding done often and just keep the laundry moving through, particularly when I'm doing a changeover and I have so much laundry to do at one time. It's important that I focus on continually moving this laundry through so that it won't interfere with the rest of the week's laundry for people's personal clothes. Over the day, I've gotten many things done, as well as spend time with my kids. Soon my husband will be home and it's time for a family dinner. It's great that the evenings are getting a little longer again now, and that the sun is setting back in front of our place. It's a wonderful time to just stop and reflect on all the love and all the tasks and everything that we did that day, and now put ourselves and family first for the rest of the evening. Spending time with my family for the rest of the night and getting ready for the next day ahead. I wake up, open the blinds, look around, and get grounded on this beautiful day, the last day of the video, to switch over the winter canvas and get ready for spring. Again, I just like to reset all the rooms when I wake up from the night before, just to make me feel a little bit more at peace, to clean up all these blankets that we used last night to snuggle up together and watch a show before bed. Just tidying it up and doing a quick reset goes an extremely long way to make me feel good in the morning. Just to make me feel like we're starting the day fresh. I think one of the favorite places that I love to be in the morning is in the kitchen. The kitchen really truly does feel like the heart of my home and the heart of my life. And I sort of get on autopilot in the morning, just doing the basic reset, unloading the dishwasher, getting organized, and getting my kids ready for school. So, because it's become so routine to me, because it's just become something I do, I'm able to really presence myself in this routine now. Instead of me having to think quite a bit about it, I just know that this is what I do. And so while I do it, I actually really try to get present in the moment. This is one of my favorite things to do every single morning while I'm going through my mundane routine. You know, over the course of a long healing journey, you come to learn certain pieces of wisdom. And one of those is that one of the most important things that makes us feel whole in this life is having your sense of self intact. And so losing our sense of self as a homemaker or as a mother while we're doing things can be one of the things that's so draining on us. It's not just the amount of tasks that we feel we must do in a day, but it's that it chips away at our sense of self. It makes us feel like we're giving and we're never receiving. There truly is so many expectations placed on mothers. There's so many expectations placed on all of us, actually, for how we should behave, how we should act, the things that we should have, the things that we should do, how our house should look, you know, what's valuable, what's not valuable, and what's valued in our society. There's so many expectations placed on us by others, by the outside world, and actually by ourselves to meet these expectations. And it's incredibly draining. But the sooner we stop trying so hard to meet all the expectations of others, to meet all the needs of others, you know, to do everything right, to get everything right for our family and for our friends and even for ourselves. The sooner we stop trying to live a life for others and we really start to connect to that authentic part of ourself, the truest part of ourself, the more we nurture this authentic self, the more we get to know this authentic self, the more we love and forgive and care for this authentic self. You know, for us, the more we give care to ourselves and love to ourselves, the more rewarding this entire journey of life is. I'll be happy when the house is clean. I'll be happy when this spring changeover is done. I'll be happy when all the laundry's done. I'll be happy when I've cleaned the kids' rooms or the kids have gotten ready for school. I'll be happy when the dishes are done or when dinner is over. I'll be happy when I'm healed. I'll be happy when all of this is behind me. Waiting to be happy until things are done or things are exactly how you want them is the way to ruin your life. You cannot heal by waiting to be happy until you're healed. You cannot enjoy your life or your family or your kids by waiting to be happy when you get the job or when you clean your house or when you've paid the bills or when you've succeeded or when everything's finally working out or life is going according to plan. Waiting to live, waiting to be happy, waiting to find peace, waiting to feel good and to love yourself and to live in the moment, waiting to be yourself and to allow yourself to enjoy life, to allow yourself to live, to allow yourself to be who you are, to allow yourself to feel joy and to feel happiness. Only when you achieve that thing that you're waiting for is the ultimate recipe for unhappiness in life. And nobody ever healed while they were waiting. So while there are always going to be things to do, while life will never stand still, while your to-do list will always fill up, while there will always be more to want and to go after and to strive for, waiting to heal, waiting to be happy until you've finished everything on your list is a losing battle. We must learn to be happy now. We must learn to be present in the moment as we do our daily work, as we do our daily chores, as we go through our daily routines, and as we strive to grow and expand and heal, we must also remember to live, to be present, to remind ourselves that we're here now, in the moment, and to remember to not just walk through our day, but to be a part of it. To really use your 5 senses to feel it, to live into it, to use your time to talk to yourself with love, to say the most wonderful, beautiful, loving things that you could imagine to yourself, to remember what it's like to be a kid and to dance and sing and be filled with joy, and take those special moments to just stop and smile and feel and remember to be yourself, to live, and to be present right here, right now, in this very moment, no matter how many things you have to do, no matter how many responsibilities you may have, no matter how many things aren't perfect, or how many things you want and you don't have, to still find a way to be in the moment, to be yourself, and to live your life. And that is the greatest recipe for happiness. That is the greatest recipe for healing. Because there is no past. And there is no future. There is only now. So all of these things that you're doing so that you can enjoy your life at a later date, there is no future. There truly is only now. So if all you feel is tension in your body, or worry in your mind, or stress and anxiety, or displeasure or discomfort, or fear, or like you're not moving fast enough, you will never be happy. You will never heal, because the future will never come. That day will never come. So stop clinging to a future where everything is the way you want it to be, and start really presencing yourself in the now and looking and seeing and feeling into what's here and finding joy and happiness and peace and calm in healing in every single moment. The happiness and the health of your life depends on the now, depends on the quality of each moment, of your thoughts, of your emotions, and of your actions, of your beliefs, of everything that's right here and right now. And so, even after all this time, I still have more growing and expanding and healing to do, because on some level, I feel I'm always prone to being addicted to living an overwhelming, complicated, difficult life. I enjoy getting things perfect and having a lot to do and taking on more than I can actually comfortably do in a day. And that's always been my personality, and that's always been my downfall. And so every day, I really work at trying to be present. I really work at trying to make things simpler and to not allow myself to get caught up in overwhelm and overstimulation and working for the future. And I really have to work at staying grounded and staying present, taking these little moments like driving my kids to school, being present with them, just being present with myself when I get home, instead of rushing into work mode, instead of rushing to check off all the things that I have on my to-do list. Taking that time for myself to go for a walk, to get quiet, to ground myself. I have to work at these things because they never came normal and natural and easy to me. I always wanted approval from others. I always wanted to get it right. I always took on too much. And therefore now, I really have to think and work at being here in the moment and simply just uncomplicating my life. Remembering that life doesn't have to be hard or difficult. That life is actually simple. When we stay in the present moment, life can be simple. We can let go of all the expectations that others have for us and that we have for ourselves, and just be here in the moment, even if we have things to do. And so today, my goal is to finish the sheets and the blankets in both my kids' rooms to get the rest of the laundry and the rest of this palette switched from winter to spring. But when I just uncomplicate everything and try to make it less of a chore and less of a to-do and less of I have to get this done and less of an expectation and more just being with myself in the moment, talking to myself, loving myself, listening to my body, stopping when I need a break, being a friend to myself when I need one, right? Being the mom I wish was still here to me when I need one, giving myself encouragement, giving myself little breaks, doing things that bring me joy as well, and just staying in the present moment. I still have to really work every day at being gentler with myself and not pushing and forcing so hard, but allowing life to unfold, allowing life to just be what it is, and to remember constantly to presence myself and to stop, to look around, and to remember that my day isn't just about getting tasks done, but it's about being and living in each and every single moment. To take many breaks, to stop and nourish my body, but not only my body, but to nourish my heart, to nourish my soul, to bring myself joy. And so here I am just watching a YouTube video and eating my lunch and just feeling what it feels like to be joyful in the moment before I keep going with my tasks. Life can be simple, but there will always be a balancing act between doing and being, between pushing forward and coming back to the present, between getting things done and enjoying and just relishing in what you've already accomplished. There will always be this balance. And so just trying to be mindful in every single thing you do, even if it's cleaning your washing machine, to really be there in the moment, to enjoy it. And the more I grow and expand and heal, the more I realize that there's a real art to doing and being. There's a real art to going after what you want, taking action, manifesting, and really taking action and accomplishing things, getting things done, and driving forward in life to where you want to go. And really balancing that with learning how to be here now, stopping when you need a break, and realizing that there is truly nothing life-threatening. There is nothing that needs to be done. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed, or if you're feeling like it's too much, that there's no requirement to keep going, that you're putting most of the stress and the pressure on yourself. And so when you do things, if you can do them with this conscious awareness and with the ability to stop and give breaks and focus on joy and happiness in between all of the things you need to do and accomplish that help you get to where you want to be, if you can really focus as much on the now and enjoying the process, stopping for a minute, talking to your dog, cuddling your animals, laying down, resting, just relishing and feeling the joy of life. If you can balance all of this with your daily routines and all of the healing tasks that you have on your plate and all of the life things on your to-do list, then you are going to be able to bring a lot more health and happiness and balance into your life, mind, heart, body, and soul. Because true happiness isn't out there, it's in here, and it's a feeling. And we don't need to accomplish anything in order to feel it. We don't need to get anywhere in order to feel it. We don't need to have that thing or get that thing or accomplish that thing or when this, when that, then I'll be happy. If we can really focus on being happy now, if we can really focus on being who we are, on loving ourselves, on forgiving ourselves, on being gentle to ourselves, on nourishing our body and our mind and our heart and our spirit, then we are going to be able to have a meaningful life. Then everything we do is going to feel like part of the process is going to feel just as happy as getting to the end. So when you're cooking dinner, remember to immerse all your senses. Lengthen all your activities. Stretch them out. Slow them down. Enjoy them. Doesn't have to be fancy. Here I'm using leftovers. I had grass-fed ground beef, which I made into meatballs. I had some leftover butternut squash soup and some leftover steamed broccoli and cauliflower, which I am adding to a soup. Use your senses. Lengthen it out. Take pleasure in the things that you're doing. Get a favorite mug. Drink tea out of a favorite mug. Stop and smell and delight in the smells. Even pouring can become a ritual that you can lengthen. You can really invite your senses to be here now, to sit, to be in the moment, to really start to allow yourself to be immersed in the moment, to feel everything, to feel peace, to feel calm, to feel the simple happiness of each and every moment. You can choose a favorite seat. You can choose a favorite dress or a cozy sweater, a mug that you love. You can just sit in the sunshine and let the sun hit your face. You can just allow yourself to feel peaceful, to feel beautiful, to feel love, to feel what it feels like when you're just immersed in the senses of the moment. Be intentional. Be intentional with your thoughts. Be intentional with your actions. Be intentional with each moment that you're living. Right? This is how you create a life that's full of moments that string together, this is how you create a peaceful life. This is how you create a healthy life. You string moments of healthy choices together. You string moments of healthy thoughts, of healthy actions, of healthy emotions, right? If you want to create a peaceful life, you string moments of peaceful thoughts and peaceful emotions, peaceful actions together. We are stringing happiness together, one moment at a time, one intentional moment at a time. So the next time you're doing anything, whether it's cleaning or laundry or cooking or any menial task, just slow down and see if you can immerse all your senses in it. See if you can get and squeeze every little bit of feeling every sense that you have in every moment. It's about squeezing the fullness and the richness out of each and every single moment, lengthening it, really getting every single thing that you can out of each moment, finding the peace in each moment, finding the joy in each moment, finding the love in each moment, right? Finding the self-love, the self-forgiveness, the self-acceptance, finding the self-compassion and kindness in each and every moment. This is how we make each moment full. This is how we live a full, rich, happy life. And while I'm cooking dinner, while I'm doing housework, while I'm doing these things, I'm not always introspective. I'm not always looking inside and talking to myself. Sometimes I do joyful things. I put on sounds of the spa or nature. Sometimes I listen to uplifting music. Sometimes I have phone conversations with people I love. I listen to invigorating podcasts. I watch shows that uplift me. So as I get ready for dinner, I really enjoy the senses of scooping the food into the bowl, of really thinking about the nourishment that's coming. You know, these are simple things. I can prepare all of the foods. My husband is getting the omelet and the Parmesan cheese with the soup. My son is getting the meatballs, which he loves so much, along with some shepherd's pie that I have. My daughter's not home tonight, so she won't be having any. We just sort of cook nourishing foods that we all like, that we all love. And everyone eats a little bit differently, but we all come together. We share real food. We talk about our day, and we take time to stop, to breathe, to watch the sunset, to be present, to be in the moment, to reflect, to share joy, to share love. Just looking out at the beautiful sunset, allowing the healing to come to me. After dinner, I have a few more things to do before I can call this day done. The laundry is finally done, and I have a few people home to help me now, get the beds made up so that the kids' rooms are done. Thankfully, my husband's home and he can give me a hand on this. So just relishing in those moments where we do shared tasks. And even though I usually do most of this on my own. It's fun sometimes to finish it up in the evening with the help of my family. I could have left this till tomorrow, but my husband offered to finish it up with me tonight. And I'd really love to be done now with this portion of the spring-winter turnaround. After a few days off from this and a well-deserved fun weekend, next week I will begin the deep clean of the entire house. This will also be a long week, but I'll be able to find and be intentional with the cleaning, with my moments, to remember to presence myself and to find joy in all things, even cleaning toilets, because this is life. And I think it's important to remember that whether you're living in a great big home with lots of rooms to take care of, whether you work, whether you're at home homemaking, whether you have little children, whether you have grown children, whether you have one child, whether you have 5 children, whether you're bedridden with chronic illness, or whether you have physical or emotional or mental illness, or whatever you're dealing with, no matter what your situation in life, whether you're caretaking others or whether someone is caretaking you, it's important for us all to be able to find moments in our life, in our day, that are peaceful, that are joyful, that are happy. Moments that we can rest in. Moments that bring us joy. Just finding meaning and learning to love ourselves. Because when we can fill ourselves up and meet our own needs, love ourselves, accept ourselves, be kind to ourselves, bring compassion to ourselves, that's where everything springs and flows out of. That's how we have enough to give to others. And so learning to love yourself in each and every moment helps you create a place of love, a home of love, an environment of love that you can give and share with others. Right? When you acknowledge your own needs, when you create comfort and peace in your day and in your moments, you can give this to others. It creates a healing home. It creates a space that feels comforting and warm and inviting, and it will naturally become a place of love and healing for you. Right? When we embrace our own self-care, when we stop and take a bath or meditate or journal or go for a walk, right? We're creating a home that feels nurturing and supportive. So when you approach self-love, this mindful approach as a core practice in your life, it spills over to the rest of your home. It creates a space that fosters healing, balance, peace. The more you nurture yourself, the more you find peace and love in all of your moments, the more you'll be able to nurture your home. The more that it will reflect the love and the care and the compassion that you need, that you deserve. When you embrace self-compassion and practice it, reminding yourself, I'm enough, I'm doing the best I can. When you take time for yourself at the end of a day, time to connect with your family. Have a hot tub, soak, relax, reconnect with your body. When you practice self-care, self-compassion, and self-love, when you make yourself a priority in life, when you rest, when you do things that you love and create moments of peace and joy throughout your day, when you take care of yourself, mind, body, heart, and soul, when you do things like create a family movie night and make healing banana ice cream for your kids with bananas and strawberries and top it off with a few chocolate chips, when you take the time to prepare a cozy atmosphere and prepare the healthy ice cream and sit down and choose a family movie. We're at the end of a long day or a long week. You come together to enjoy the simple pleasures of life with those you love, being and having fun and feeling joy in the present moment. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to thank you for coming along with me on the journey. If you liked it, please hit like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.